Hey guys. So, for today, for this video, we are going to go over what is my June reads slash what I'm going to be reading into July for the summer, and then maybe get into a little bit of August. I'm also going to show you guys what I just got because I got a bunch of new books yesterday, and then including this cute little bookshelf back here. $5 at a garage sale, y'all. I got the lights too. They're little leaves that I just put up top for cute decorations. That's probably going to be my designated thriller shelf. And yeah, so let's come along. So the first ones that I have for you guys is I'm going to finish this month Sweet Bitter Song by Rosie Hewlett. I saw this book back in April at the bookstore, and it looked so good. It's a sapphic love story. It's about Penelope and Methleno. Penelope is Odysseus' wife. The story shows of Methleno and Penelope as childhood, and then when Penelope goes and marries Odysseus, and they go to Ithaca, and then it goes into their life with other people, living in the house of Ithaca and the other slaves and things like that, that are on Ithaca while the men are gone off fighting at the Trojan War. And also a little bit of her son, Thalmachus. So sorry if I get that wrong. But anyway, this book is really, really great. I already give it 5 stars, even though I'm not done with it yet. It is still a 5-star read for me. I'm on chapter, 39 out of 62. So, I am definitely going to be finishing this book. I was audiobooking it, and then I was physical reading it and immersive reading it. So, between immersive reading, audio, and physical, it will get done by this month. Now, this one, I started annotating it. This is Please Don't Go by E. Salvador. I do want to read the rest of her books. I really do love her writing. She is not only so sweet, but her characters are really great. Josephine and Daniel are one of my favorite people. Daniel is such a golden retriever type man, and I love his character so much. But essentially, these people are grieving, and then they start to fall in love with each other when they're not even done grieving. So, it's gonna be interesting. So far, it's cute. It's kind of a little bit funny sometimes, a little bit quirky, but there is some moments that are kind of like sad in a way. So I would check your trigger warnings. But yes, she is such a great author. I'm in chapter 43 out of 63. So I will definitely be finishing this and annotating it. And I will let you guys know this is another 5-star read so far for me. But since I'm a mood reader, I kind of jump back and forth between books. So some of those books I'll haven't picked up. I read that 2 days ago, I think, and I hadn't picked it up in 2 days. I was reading Hidden Pictures by Jason Roluik. I guarantee you saying his last name wrong. But anyway, I'll pull it up in here for a better picture for y'all. But this is a thriller. It is my very first thriller, guys, that I am reading. Yes, I know. Basically, this girl was had an addiction, and she got sober, and she's got a sponsor, and the sponsor was like, hey, why don't you go babysit this family's kid? And she goes, okay. And so she babysits this kid, and he likes to draw pictures. She lives in their little cottage / shed that they made up for her as a bed and little kitchen and little bathroom. But I guess originally it was a shed where people just stored tools in. Anyway, the kid likes to draw pictures. And so he draws these pictures, and then as you get further into the book, the pictures become more alarming and more this is weird. Why are you drawing this? He's got a fake friend or an invisible friend. And yeah, and so he talks about her sometimes too. So I am very interested to finish this. This is also going to be finished for June read. I'll also put it up here, but I'm also going to be finishing, or not finishing, but this is going to be June to July. But I want to this summer continue into my Hollow Boys. I am enjoying it so far. I've also was annotating it off my Kindle. I eventually want that whole series on my physical shelf, even though I'm not even done with the series yet. I love them so far. Some of them is a little bit squeamish, a little bit, because it is dark romance, obvious, but regardless, it's good. So that is going to be June and July reads. And then the other two that I'll pull up is for audiobooks when I'm doing house chores or when I'm in the car, when I'm going grocery shopping, or even at the bookstore looking at books. I like to put on audio Remarkable Bright Creatures by Van Pelt. And I saw the movie with my best friend, and I talked about it in another book, but I watched it and I was loving the movie. And so I was like, I need to listen to that book. Also, one of those books that I need on my physical shelf as well. So I was audiobooking that from time to time, and then another audiobook that I just started listening to. Hold on, pull it up for you guys because I always forget the name. It is. I'm gonna pull it up for you. I'm gonna pull it up here. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. It is a thriller. It's like essentially about a girl that does a podcast about like things that women go through or have happened to, and she essentially becomes part of her own. The girl that does the podcast becomes part of her own crime podcast, in a sense, if that makes sense to y'all. Anyway, it sounded really good. I was gonna get it as a physical copy. I heard the audiobook is fantastic, and so far it is good. There's music in the background. You actually hear when they go to record. You know that they're starting to a recording session for the audiobook or for their podcast on there. And so it's such a great listen for a thriller. So that's another one I started doing for a thriller, and I'm excited to see where that goes. If I enjoyed an audio, maybe I'll get the physical copy. So those are the two that I have. Of course, I'll put them up for you guys to see what they are if you want to check them out. Now, if we come along, I'll grab some books. These are going to be the big haul I got from the other day. I got one that was from garage sailing and like going to people's houses and finding things. I got some books from my used bookstore by where I work. I dropped off some books, got some credit, and also picked up 3 books and got a 4th book for free because that's the deal they had going on. And they also had some kind of new ones that one of my coworkers that went there had said, so I definitely wanted to check out the newest ones that they got in. And my grandma and my aunt also had gotten me some more when they were out and about, whether it was thrift stores or garage sale. So we'll go ahead and go through those. Alright guys, so the first one, my aunt and my grandma had given me this one. It's Susan Wiggs, Welcome to Beach Town. I have this with like my romance books. I have over here a shelf that's like just like my romances I like to read and my high anticipation ones, and then I have ones that are kind of low on the bottom on the shelf or one that I've already read. Anyway, this one is like not really sure. When I was reading about this, it's like basically a girl that was in high school. She's valedictorian, and she drops some information to everybody in her class that people didn't know about it, and it starts a ruckus. She moves away, and then she comes back. So I'm not sure, but I will give it a read, and if I don't like it, I could give it away to somebody who will enjoy it. So we'll see how this one fares. The other one that I've gotten is Theodora's Descent by J.E. and M. Keep. This one I think is like vampires and stuff. It says that the things that lurk under her bed are very real and they want her to join them. Underneath it says there's things that taunt the underworld, and she desperately seeks to escape. Can she survive the horrors that lurk below, or will she succumb to the power that reigns in the dark? It's a dark, seductive force calls to her, pulls towards its clutches. So I have this in my dark romance selection. So we'll see how this book is. I got this from a garage sale. The lady was enjoying vampire romances. I do love how this book has all of the chapters listed. So it's chapter 62 out of this book. So I will see how that one is eventually. It's probably going to be like a fall time read. The next books that I got is The Voice in the Wind by Rivers, Francine Rivers. And then it also came with Echoes in the Darkness and As Sure as the Dawn. These are historical Christian readings, stories, um, about like the power and the strength and going through hard times and things like that. And since I'm expanding my reading, and this was gifted to me by my grandma as well, I will give it a try and see if I enjoy it. It's sometimes, you guys, you need something different other than just spice. At least for me. So those are those ones. Okay, on to our thriller. So we'll start over here. The first one that I got from a thrift or garage selling, which honestly, it's very, I like how the umbrella is inflecting too with you guys, but it's very in good condition for it. But this is Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. Essentially, I think this guy is driving around in a Mercedes, just running people over and things like that. So, again, not have read many of him. I might have seen it from him and things like that. But him and James Patterson, I have not really gotten into. But this book, they're really good. So, we'll see how this one fares. The second one I have is Book of the Dead by Patrice Cornwell. This is like more like criminal procedural for Emmys and things like that. Of a Emmy doing autopsies for people in communities where they might not have access to it. So, interesting to see how this is. Probably be a fall time read or when I feel like it type of book. Another one that I got gifted a while ago that I shared before is this one that I've had on the shelf to read, but it's not part of the thing. I do want to note, guys, that I just found a while ago that this is the third book in Joshua Mulling's Ben Packard series. I did not know this, y'all. So I had the first one on my Kindle, and I will be reading it eventually between the summer into fall, reading the series, and I do want the collection of Ben Packard on my shelf. I'm excited to get into Ben Packard. He seems like a great character. Just a thought for that one. And then I also got gifted from a garage sailing is Fight or Flight by Fern Michaels. This one is about, I'm not sure what this one's about. Basically about this girl, I guess, living in the mountains, and she's not really a people person. She likes to keep to herself, I guess, with her dogs. And then I guess one of her fans is in danger and she wants to help. So I'm not sure. We'll see how this one fares. This is one of the books I got from my shop, my bookstore shop that I go to, the used one. It's Night Falls on Predicament Avenue by Jamie Jo Wright. This one takes place in 1910. And it says, as the walls of the house at Predicament Avenue reveal their hidden truths, two women generations apart discover that fear and foreboding are no respecters of time. So I am probably going to read this one in fall time that I know of. I do want to read this one around like October-ish, so that will be in that category unless I get the itch to read it closer than that. The next one I got was Lynn H. Blackburn, Unknown Threat. This is like two FBI agents come together to solve a case that one of the FBI agents was a part of, because there's a killer on the loose and he kills half of this one guy's team, and he somehow, I think, is alive. Oh, they died under unusual circumstances in past 10 weeks, and the guy is at a loss because of his coworkers and his friends, and he helps with this other person to solve the case. So seems interesting. I kind of do like watching crime, so but I don't watch thriller and I don't watch horror that much, so that's why these are all interesting. I got Sarah Pierce, The Retreat, from a garage sale as well. This one is basically they're at a retreat on an island, and there's a killer on the loose on the island, I think, and they have to go find him. The other one I have is Missing Hours. by Julia Dahl that I got from a these two books must have came uh, from a house, and people got let me cover the girl's face so you don't see. People forget that they got photos in the books, and I keep coming. That's the second one that I found actual family photo in, believe it or not. But anyway, then I have The Missing Hours. This one is about a girl who has it all. She's got the Instagram followers. She's got a famous family. She's got a trust fund. She's gonna start at freshman year at NYU, and then a drunken night, something changes, and something happens. So interesting to see that. The next one that I'm gonna read as soon as August hits, because I actually really want to read it, but I really feel like it'd be best to be read around when it turns fall. So I'm gonna be reading in August Jessica Fellowes' Midford Murders. It's in 1920, and it's about an 18-year-old girl, Lucia Cannon, dreams of escaping her life of property in London. Her salvation is in a position with an eccentric, aristocratic, and ultimately notorious Midford house, hold in the Oxfordshire countryside. Lucia becomes nursery maid, chaperone, and confidant to the eldest sister, Nancy, who is only 16, but will grow up to be a successful novelist. An acerbic, bright young woman who is already in love with stories, Nancy is eager to have a friend near her own age and a full house of younger siblings and desperate for intrigue and adventure. When a nurse, Florence Nightingale Shore, goddaughter of the famous namesake, is killed on a train in broad daylight, Lucia and Nancy find themselves entangled in the crimes of a murderer who will do anything to remain a mystery. From the author of the official companion books to the TV series Downton Abbey, it is the first in a series of irresistible mysteries featuring an extraordinary Midford sisters that will take us back to fascinating worlds of manners, morals, upstairs and down, and in the golden age of English crime fiction. So this seemed really, really cute and really interesting. I didn't know that there was more than one book than this. Let me see. Sometimes no, they don't right here. See, sometimes in books that they give you what the other ones are. So I'm not sure if this is the only copy in the series, if there's more, but I'm excited for this one in August. As soon as it hits, it's gonna be a cozy little read. This one is Wendy's Corsi Staub, Live to Tell the Tale and Die. This one is about this one's about a girl's husband cheats on her. She and him get a messy divorce, and he's also the father of her kids, and then he disappears with mistaken identity. So interesting. This is gonna be like one of those books that I read when I feel like picking it up and reading the story. The Jessica Fellowes I got from the used bookstore. If I did not say that, I also got these two books from from my used bookstore. This is the Crying Season by D.K. Hood. Essentially, they find some bones in a hiking trail, and then later they find another body tied to a tree, riddled with bullets, and so they're wondering, is these connected? And then I think who did it? But there's nothing, I guess. This says nothing compared to like what's coming next for that. So, seemed like a good read. And then I have William Landay, All That Is Mine, that I carry with me. This girl, her mom goes missing. Her pocketbook is still at the house. Nothing's out of place, so they don't know what happened. Years later, when her and her two other siblings grow up and get older, they finally find the mom's body, and then they have to decide if they think their father did it or if they think their father is innocent and pick which side they want to be on, especially if there's little evidence to suggest if he did or did not do it. So I thought that was interesting. Again, with me being a crime person, I thought that might have been a nice read. And the other one I got was Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. Keep wanting to say her name wrong. I'm pretty sure she's on Dateline, or was on Dateline, but she made this book, and then I guess it is the HBO series too, with a lot of famous actors like Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon and Zoe Kravitz and Shailene Woodley. Um, if I like this book, I might watch the show. Um, I've heard there's people on here that say it's really good. Oprah and Stephen King said it was really good, so I can't wait to dive into this. This might probably be July to August thriller to read. So that is going to be very good. And then the last two books that I got, y'all, is in very good condition, by the way, for cheap at somebody's house, is Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets, um, for a nice, really hardcover. And I don't know if I'm actually going to read these because I've seen the movie so many times, and I know, but Sierra, books carry so much information. I know. But I just wanted these as a collector's edition. So anyway, I have this. I might tell my used bookstore, because you can ask for ones if they come in with nice conditions like this, to let me know. But the last one that last one that I had was the Half Blood Prince condition as well. Again, all in very nice conditions. Oh, look, y'all. This is why I'm looking in the books, because I just found a baseball card as a bookmark. Proof to show you never know what you're going to find in books, especially when you do garage sailing. Anyway, so that is going to be my haul, guys. Set these over here. Let's see. Wanted to say, stay on the lookout for July, guys. I will pick out 1 or 2 books for July. I have some plans for July, and I was already playing around with what I wanted to read for July, maybe. I have a TBR jar that I might do for July as well. But again, I'm a mood reader, so it depends on my mood. Depends if I want to pick a book and stick to it, or if I want to wait and just pick books by eyesight. Stay on the lookout for that, and we'll talk again when I finish June. Stay safe, guys.